Okay, fifth grade. Today we're going to look at coordinate planes. And this is going to be a tiny bit difficult because it's coordinate planes are something that you really have to do pencil and paper. So my suggestion would be to see if you can have your parents that can print out a coordinate plane that will help. Um, if you can't print one out, you can just make one on a piece of paper. But that's really how I think that's going to be the best way that you can practice with coordinates is if you actually draw them and do it that way. That's the only thing. I was hoping you guys would have your books by then, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. So you have been used to seeing quadrants or a coordinate grid that just has this right here. You would only see this. Well, in sixth grade, we're going to look at all four quadrants. What happens when you have the two lines that intersect. So we're going to look at those today, and I'm just going to give you guys some vocabulary background. What does a coordinate look like? And so that's what we're going to look at for today. So coordinate plane is made up of an X and Y axis. The X axis is horizontal, and then the Y is vertical. Whenever we're reading coordinates or writing them, we always write them with X first, just like the alphabet. X comes before Y. So that's how we read those. And one of the things that you're going to want to know is that you always start at your origin, which is your starting point, and that's at 0, 0. So your origin is right here in the middle where your two lines meet. This is your starting point. This is where you always start. So if you wanted, I can write starting point, or I can just write start right there, and that's your origin. Okay, so that's where you're always going to start whenever you're graphing. One of the things you'll notice is that your coordinate plane is broken into 4 different quadrants, and it goes counterclockwise. So we have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And those are written in Roman numerals. That's how we write those different quadrants. Some of the things that you'll come to find out, quadrant 1 is made up of positive X and a positive Y number. Quadrant 3 is made up of negative X and Y coordinates. And then, so that's a little bit easier to kind of help. If you know that your coordinates are negative numbers, they're both negative numbers, then you should be in quadrant 3 because those consist of negative numbers. If your X and Y coordinates are made up of positive numbers, then you're going to be in this quadrant 1 area. Okay, so I'll show you an example. These are just some things that I talked about. Your x-axis is your horizontal, your y-axis is your vertical. Now this is how you look at your coordinates. So your coordinates are written with parentheses and 2, 3. So your first coordinate, that's the one you're going to look at first. So you go x and then y. 2, 3 is your coordinate. So we're going to graph that together on a coordinate plane. So my coordinate is 2, 3. I always start at my origin. Now I know that 2 is a positive number because there's no negative symbol there. So I'm going to go 2 and I'm going to count 1, 2. This is exactly why we were graphing integers at the beginning of the chapter. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm not going to mark anything. That X just tells me how many places I'm going to move and which direction. So if I'm positive, I'm going to be positive, right? Just like a number line. If it's negative, then I'm going to go to the left of 0. So 2, 3. So I'm going to go 2. And then my Y is going to be my vertical. Okay. So if it's 2, 3, I'm going to move 1, 2. And then since the 3 is positive, I'm going to go where the positive integers are. 1, 2, 3. And that is how I graph coordinates. So if I wanted to do another one, let's say -5, 4. I always start at my origin right here. And negative, now look, my x is negative. So if my x is negative, that means I'm going to go to the negative side. So I'm going to go to -5. And then 4 is a positive number. So that means I'm going to go up because going up is positive. If I went below, that's going to be negative. So -5, and then I'm going to go to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have graphed -5, 4. And that's what we're going to be working on today.